Hello, this is Kevin Cook, Director of Communications with the City of Lakeland, and this is our May installment of Access Lakeland. And as always, we have City Manager Tony Delgado here with us in the studio, which is the conference room. Tony, thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Kevin. Always happy to be here.
And, you know, first of all, I was messing with Tony before. He goes, what are we going to talk about? And I said, we're going to talk about his summer reading program.
A really exciting project. It's a downtown dog park. Many people are already very, very familiar with what we did out at Cleveland Heights with Dog Lake Woods. This is going to be a very unique downtown dog park right on the shores of Lake Mirror.
Well, I want to let you know, and some of our viewers may already know this, but there's a certain news media in Tampa Bay that are doing a segment tonight called Beyond the List. And Beyond the List, we're on that list, and it's the most dog-friendly community in the Tampa Bay area, and we're included tonight on this particular news segment.
Yeah,
so we're known to be dog-friendly.
Absolutely. In downtown, we really do need a dog park. So many people are starting to move into downtown now. We're looking at not only the No Bay apartment complex, but doing something really special on the 10 acres behind the police station, Mirton. And so we're going to have a lot of residents downtown that want to take care of their four-legged family members. And we hope this dog park, being unique because it's urban, being able to have some additional amenities that you normally don't see in some dog parks that are very open, we think it's going to be really special. But we have to kick it off, so engineering design first. I know our Parks and Recreation Department's been working on that. City Commission, during our strategic plan.
And our viewers, that is right across from the downtown fire station,
Right.
And you have the Polk Parkway there. So it's going to be a pretty cool place.
Yeah, and like I said, urban dog park, really needed. So many folks that are now moving into downtown need to take care of their four-legged family members, and so this is do it.
So I was at Lakeland Regional Airport on Friday. We had the we're there, and a lot again for having the hurricane hunters there. Customs there, but we're looking at possibly cargo hangars.
Well, we're definitely going to be looking at cargo. It's the next step in what we're hoping to do. Once the customs came on board, it gave us the operations to fly out of Lakeland Linder, and not just the small cargo. We're talking about some of the big planes, and so part of the master planning process is to go ahead and look at hangars that would go ahead and facilitate that. Really special for us in the fact that it will produce new revenue. That revenue obviously will go not into just trying to upgrade the airport, but taking a look at commercial service too. As many people know, we had commercial service some time back. The downturn in the economy kind of hurt us. We would like to once again re-energize that, bring commercial service, at least on a limited basis, back to Lakeland. We've seen from the numbers, so many people leave our community to go to Tampa and Orlando to fly out. If they had an option here, we think they would use it. Pretty confident in that, and so trying to put together a coalition of sorts with some of our local business community to help us go out there and spread the word and let people know we could handle it. We really need commercial service flying out of Lakeland, and so next step beyond cargo is to go ahead and do that. But cargo will be the first, I think, when we take a look at everything, because that is going to provide us some additional revenues, not just in the planes coming in, but they use fuel and they lease space, and there are surcharges associated with that, and it'll really be something that we will use to springboard into commercial service too.
And it's good for our viewers to know as well, our runways can't handle large cargo planes, and they can handle large commercial aircraft as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a goal of being at 10,000 feet. We're right now at 8,500, so pretty much anything in the air we can handle.
So a couple of initiatives that hotel at the RP Funding Center.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are wondering why we need another hotel at the RP Funding Center. This one's going to be a Marriott chain, I think it's Spring Hill Suites.
Yes.
It's being done by a local developer, which is really, really good because they understand our community. and that local developer will take what they understand and to build upon it. So it brings a second hotel to a facility that we're already upgrading, spending almost $14 million, a little bit more than $14 million these last 2 years in order to upgrade it, not just for our friends at the Lakeland Magic and for our Tropics soccer team and our arena football team. We're back to arena football too, but really in order to create new meeting space, or at least go ahead and renovate our meeting space so we could start bringing in state, regional, local conventions and conferences. In order to do that, you got to have hotel accommodations, and they have to be nearby. We have great hotels throughout the community, but they're still a bus ride or a car ride away.
Right.
Having a second hotel on site, a minimum 130 rooms, to be in network with the Hyatt that's currently there should really help us when we're out marketing in order to bring those state, regional, and local conventions and meetings into the marketplace. And people need to understand, while it's another big building right adjacent to the RP Funding Center, these folks spend money. So they'll come in 3, 4, 5 days, and they'll spend money in our community. They'll eat at our restaurants. They'll go to our shopping centers. They'll do those type of things, and they'll use our amenities within the city. So this is a great next step for the RP Funding Center.
And give our viewers an idea where that footprint of the hotel would be.
The hotel is going to be what we like to call the East Lot, which is adjacent to the theater, right there along Lime and Sykes Boulevard.
Yep.
If everybody who lives in Lakeland knows where the Marquee is at,
Bingo. That's where I was going to
it'll
touch base on.
It'll be right next to the Marquee.
Yep. All right, cool. So what's the time frame? What are we looking at?
Well, right now we've seen drawings. Obviously, the engineers are doing their work. Our hope is that sometime in the fall we'll see a groundbreaking, and if everything goes right, we hope the hotel will open at the same time we finish all the renovations to the RP Funding Center next year.
And one of the things that came up when this issue came before the City Commission was additional ADA compliancy and things of that nature.
Well,
so.
Regardless of what happens, we'll be ADA compliant.
Yeah.
I want the folks to know that regardless of where this hotel's at, whatever parking is used, it will be ADA compliant. You have to be. But because this lot is used so much for our theater events, and our theater events see a more mature audience, we want to go ahead and make sure that we can do what's necessary in order to build additional drop-off area, as well as utilizing our south lot, which Lakelanders know is right behind the radio station. Go ahead and do some crosswalks that are going to make it a little bit safer for that mature audience trying to.
The Lakes and Stormwater, and that's the Public Works Association, American Public Works Association. Lakes and Stormwater had a project, and that was the Lake Hollingsworth Shoreline Stabilization Project. Well, a small project of the year, so that's kind of big.
Yeah, people who hear stabilization projects, it's not real fancy and sexy.
No, it's not.
But when you go out there and you understand how much Lake Hollingsworth is used and the erosion that takes place along the shores, it's vitally important. It's built right next to the new yacht club, or I guess they're calling it the yacht. It's no longer the yacht club. It's called the country club, I guess, or something along those lines. A new name. It's right next to there, so it's going to flow right into that brand new building and have a really good look. One of the other things our folks in water and wastewater really hit a home run on is when they built and they went ahead and dedicated the new 7 Wetlands Park.
Yes.
Folks who didn't get a chance to go out there, I hope you do get a chance to go out there. It's very special. Had a great dedication. A lot of people were out there. A lot of people had a chance to not only
Which is a one-time thing.
It's a one-time. We won't be doing that again. I will say no bikes though, no horses, no motorcycles,
no dogs.
No dogs. This is really a pure hiking trail for those enthusiasts out there.
And that's outside of Loyce Harp Park, so you can enter that off Carter Road. Mm-hmm. And Tony, I know you had a few thank yous you want to talk about before
I do. We just ended up our spring training season. Folks are really familiar with the renovations that have been done out at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. We had a great spring training year. Wish our Tigers were playing a little better, but in the division they're in right now, anything can happen. And so we want to thank everybody for being out there. I would like to thank the community for being part of our strategic planning and our business planning process. The commission spent a number of hours, 2 sessions, putting together the next year's strategic planning and then beyond. We had a lot of comments from the community through our survey. The survey was vitally important in doing that work. So when the survey comes out next year, I would hope more and more people take the opportunity to go ahead and fill it out, because it does help. It really does help us and assist us in trying to get the next year's budget in place and really understanding what this community wants. So I want to thank everybody for being part of that too, Kevin.
Well, Tony, I want to thank you.
Thank you,
for
sir,
being
as
our
always.
guest this morning, and we look forward to having you here next month. Thank you so much.
Ready to kick off the summer. And
Yes,
thanks
sir.
everybody for watching. Now it's up. Now my boss gets to come.
Yes, now we have Mayor Mutz, who is going to have a seat here with
All right,
Access
sir.
Lakeland. Mr. Mutz, how are you today, sir?
Wonderful. It's great to see you. Great communication guru.
Oh, thank you so much. We want you here today to talk a little bit about your initiative, your One Lakeland initiative. And I know you have an economic summit coming up, but your One Lakeland initiative really is it's holistic. It's not just
Correct.
economics. There's a lot of moving parts involved.
Correct. Together better as an entire city overall. And that's an initiative many people work on all the time anyway. But we're going to take two prongs of that as points of concentration. One is economically, and the other one is on mentoring.
Okay.
So let me do the economic summit because that's right in front of us.
It is.
That'll be this Saturday from 8 in the morning till noon. But why would you want to go? Why would you want to attend? And what are we trying to accomplish? We're really trying to identify what we have in place currently for everyone across the community for economic opportunities, and then also where the holes are for what
Sure.
we could be doing. So inadvertently or advertently, sometimes we create programs that are good for some groups of people, not so healthy for others. And so what we are going to do is use this as really an opportunity to aggressively work to level the playing field. What can we be doing that makes some people that don't have as easy an access, and typically on a poverty-based, minority-based side is where this occurs, have access to economic engines, catapult ideas, ways to get business started. And where are we needing to be much more mindful about approaching those people
Sure.
and providing opportunities? That kind of
So is this beyond business? Because when you think economic summit, you think of ways that individuals, if you want to start a business or if you own a business, but it's really beyond.
Yes, because I think
scope.
what we have to do, not everybody is an entrepreneur.
Right.
Not everybody has access to capital. Obviously, that's one of the big limiting things that exists in our life. Not everybody is going to have an idea in their minds that really can turn into a useful product. It might be a great idea for a small group of people, but may not for enough people to have a business that supports it. And we see failures, business failures
Yes.
that take place. And not because those aren't sometimes great ideas and that people want to have a passion for it. It's just they may not be as marketable at the price the product ultimately
Or they
costs.
came in without a business plan or what have you. So is this going to, when you say summit, tell us a little bit about what someone can expect if they...
Excellent, and that's really the right thing to do, and I appreciate you bringing me back on point. We're going to have 6 of these.
Okay.
There's going to be one every 4 months
All right.
for 2 years. And basically what we're going to do is spend, particularly this first one, almost the entire time listening through using opening statements and kind of here's where we are to what should we be doing, identifying holes and pitfalls, then triaging what's next, therefore,
Okay.
and then so that we could go to the next 4 months from now and say, hey, we've taken a couple steps in this regard and here's where we're moving. This isn't going to move mountains fast. It's going to move them very deliberately and with the right kind of course. It's more like building a highway of opportunity. And so that's what we want to have happen. So anybody who either has ideas they'd like to share or thinks we're really missing something, this would be a great time for them to spend that morning. And they'll get some La Imperial Bakery
Oh, yes. Goodies.
goodies while they're there as well, which we're really excited about having them provide.
And excellent, by the way, if you haven't been to La Imperial, it is very, very good.
Very nice.
Their guava cheese pastries are...
One of the finest.
Yes, in all the land. So, are we going to, for this economic summit, are there going to be charrettes? Are there going to be tabletop displays? Or is it just going to be more, hey, come in, we're in a group setting, and sort of have breakouts just to get ideas?
So this is not charrettes, other than we'll have Steve Scruggs talk about what Lakeland Economic Development Council has done, Corey Skates on the chamber side, Nicole Travis will talk about how the CRA supports that, and Gal Fields from a former mayor and minority impetus, economically
Sure.
background, history,
And business
as well.
owner.
And a business owner,
Right.
and also Sylvia Blackman Roberts, who is a consultant in this whole arena, be the facilitator. They'll do some opening comments that kind of sets the stage. Then we'll have a panel for people to be able to ask questions, and then we'll be listing some of the things we can be working on. So this first one's a listening, gathering
Gotcha.
opportunity more than any of the rest, and I think we'll have listening at every one of the components because that's what we must do a better job of. But
So it's at Southeastern University.
Yes, sir.
Tell us the building.
That is the nursing building in Southeastern. They have an auditorium inside that building, so it's on the north side of the campus.
Okay, and what we'll do is we'll put this in our notes as well. We'll put the exact address in. So it's at Southeastern University in the nursing building, and it's from 8 to 12?
8 to noon. We're going to try and keep it short.
All right,
So,
great.
and in all of these, we want to do that. Trying to make them meaningful, but not kill your Saturday. And so that way we can broaden the participation.
Sure. Another initiative, you talked about mentoring.
Mentoring,
So
okay.
let's talk about what your thought processes with that.
Well, my heart hurts for people without hope. And
Yes.
so that's the principal drive. We have wonderful organizations in our community that address pieces of that. Some of those are secular, some of those are faith-based, some of those are governmental.
Yes.
But we don't necessarily have everybody having access to all of that. And there's always ways we can have other places to backfill a little of what's voided. So we're working to try and create a 100 mentor program by fall, which will take people who say, I'd love to pour into some child's life out of my life's experience. And we want to match in the fall, as soon as school begins, students who might say, I'd love to be mentored. And so we're going to see how we can go and grow in that. I'm
Okay.
working with Polk County Schools on this, and Superintendent Byrd is very supportive of this, as well as some other entities. We're going to create a task force that talks about how we do this responsibly. We want to just come alongside what already exists, but make it more, so that if I have no hope, if I have no dream, I don't know about that.
Yeah, well,
If I have no hope, if I have no dream, then I don't have any addresses for those dreams. And I don't have any models in my life necessarily of those things. And that can happen for a variety of reasons. We're not trying to make a statement about how that happened. It's just that it existed. We want a decade from now kids to be able to go back and say, I met so-and-so. They changed my life because they started to help me think
Sure.
about things I can focus on. Helped me to identify the dreams out of my skill sets and giftedness that I can have in life, and I found a way to get there.
You know, it's interesting, and I'm just going to share a little story with everyone out there, because we all love a story, right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So we, in this department, we actually go out and read to preschoolers. And if you'd hand me one of the next books that we have scheduled, so we go out and read to preschoolers just to touch lives and help them read, and we give them books. So this last one, Jamin went out and actually read to 1-year-olds. So I know I've had 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, but each one of us have a certain class that we share with, and it really touches your heart to share with someone. But here's where my story. I used to mentor at troubled kids at Lakeland High School, and I mentored a gentleman. His name was Angel, and it's very interesting that I was with him for 2 years, and it's a success story because one day I'm pumping gas at 7-Eleven off South Florida Avenue, and this guy pulls up in a car and goes, "Mr. Cook," and I look over, and it took me a second because now this
It's grown up.
It's a young adult.
Yeah, right,
I go, "Do I know? Yeah, this is Angel. How are you doing?" He goes, "I just want to tell you, you helped me stay in school. I was probably going to drop out and be a go work at an auto body shop, and you helped me stay in school. So if you could touch someone's life like that, he's a better person for it.
You changed his life.
I did.
And that's why we're here.
Right.
We're not here to accumulate stuff. We're here to create life change and opportunity for other people. And as benefits may come along with that in life, that's fine, but that's not the driver. The driver is how do we use our lives to impact others.
And very good. I'm looking forward to the mentoring. So we had, and someone asked, David, are we live streaming on Saturday? We're definitely going to cover it. We haven't been out to Southeastern to see what their capabilities are yet. We are going out there for a road trip early this week, and we'll certainly let you know in the live stream, but we're definitely going to cover it in some way. We just don't know what their capabilities are for us to stream.
We also want to video it so that we can pull some excerpts out of what we learned.
And Jennifer loves the mentoring idea. When we improve the lives of students, they want to stay in Lakeland. And
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And this is our big problem on the human resource side, not just for the city of Lakeland, for every business in this city, is where are our next generation of people, and where are they coming with skills, and that they actually want to think about staying in a job and a career path and all that kind of thing. And so that's part and parcel of what we're doing on a secondary basis by doing this.
Absolutely. And another initiative, we've got a homeless initiative. Can you touch base on that at all?
Sure, I'd love to. We have had the luxury, in some ways, of having a family live with us the last 22 months that went through a very difficult time. And in that time, there was so much fog and so much absence of direction. They just didn't know what to do. They needed somewhere to be stabilized. So because we knew this family, we had them live with us. They're just in June actually going to move out on their own. I only mention that because that's a microcosm of what exists all over the city and all over our county and all over our nation.
Right.
We have people who have disheveled lives. Let's talk about that. And so the number one step in getting anybody back in a healthy fashion in a society is that they have a place to live, some place to live. They have to have their own home, and we are hugely short of affordable housing, transitional housing in our city. So one of the goals would be that in the next 5 years we have about 500 more affordable housing locations to be in place than exist today, while also working on the next levels of housing that people go to, from transitional housing to the next house. Are what keep us from being dependent on other people to sustain our lives. And we're built to have self-respect that comes from the fact that we work to provide. And so housing has to become an important priority to us all. Not necessarily that the city is doing this per se, but the city's helping to bring along private parties that recognize these opportunities, and we help partner with them strongly to make these happen.
Well, shelter is one of the 5 things in the hierarchy of needs that you must have, correct?
Exactly.
So we all need shelter. We talked a little bit about your One Lakeland. You mentioned that 2-pronged process. So are there any other pieces that you want to share with that, or is that the main focus?
I think to do this well, we keep focus on those 2 things.
Okay, and about every 4 months.
Every 4 months we're going to do one of these for 6 of them.
Okay, and the mentoring, you say the mentoring will probably kick off in fall.
This fall. We're really still putting that crew together. I wish I had done more. I have to work more on the throughput side of getting some of these things done, but I'm confident of the team. And if you're interested in being either part of the mentoring strategy meeting, which we haven't done yet and hope to do in early June, I haven't set the time for it yet, and hope to do in early June, or becoming a mentor, just email me, please, and we will put you on the appropriate list. We need mentors.
And we'll put that in the feed as well. So Lisa says, to shelve lives, mentoring, yes indeed. Lisa, we thoroughly believe exactly what you're saying. So
we can be, this is a city that's unique, and everybody thinks they're unique. We are unique. And we exist between two cities that are doing extraordinarily good jobs of growing, Tampa and Orlando, that we all are beneficiaries of, and we enjoy being able to utilize those cities. What we can be noted as being is a city that loves people, and where people learn how to thrive. And the reason that people stay here is because there's just not another place they know like it. And then we're not worrying so much about how to grow our jobs and our businesses 8 to 10 years from now, because we have people who want to stay in and make it an even better place to live.
And that's awesome. Before you go, just want to let you know, we have the Munn Park relocation. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to bring Elizabeth Holliday, our digital media coordinator, up in just a few minutes. But we've set up a GoFundMe account.
Great, we have. And our goal in this is that there will not be any tax dollars that have to be spent, other than the ones that are us just doing the work of organizing that are being spent anyway, on the move itself. And can I make a comment on
Please.
this? The reason this is the right thing for us to do as a community, the reason this ties into everything else we've just already talked about, is it honors all men. And when I say that, I mean men and women. You know that, that's an expression. Our responsibility, whenever possible, is to try and honor everyone. So we are moving it to Veterans Park so that those people who want to use the monument as the thing that represents for them the memorial and the memory of those Civil War soldiers who died defending Florida are appropriately remembered. And we're moving it away from downtown to take it away from people who had heard another message that it may have communicated to their parents and their grandparents. It honors everyone this way. It's not being removed, it's not being put in a warehouse somewhere else. It's allowing people who want to honor it in Veterans Park to honor it that way, and it's honoring the people who had heard another message by removing it. So whenever we can do that kind of thing, we got to race to those opportunities, not to create a cost burden for our community in doing it. That's why people, and I've written my check, who are interested in helping with that process can write a check to help move it, so that we take away that whole issue and we honor everyone.
So that's very important for our viewers to know. We're not removing it, we're relocating the Confederate Monument and Munn Park. So that's very good. David loves the idea of economic impacts and assisting housing with, hold it back up for me, please.
Tiny homes.
Tiny homes. So removing unnecessary regulation hurdles for new tiny homes.
So David, you'll be excited to know that we sent Brian Seeley from Gospel Inc. and Ben Stevenson who's our local housing authority director, to Austin to the Tiny Homes Summit, and to be able to look at the facility and community that they have out there, which they came back both stoked. And so our next steps on that housing as part of that 500 are how can we use tiny homes and even some housing for home for a period of time there. Austin's doing a great job of this.
They are.
And so we've done that. And
there's a huge tiny home movement in Texas.
Right, and so we're going to take a look at how we can incorporate that. And the other thing is, we might want to consider how we relax some coding for people that may have a heart to have transitional living in a garage they may have in the back that has an apartment facility in some of our areas. So that's something we'll take a look at too, because there might be some existing places people could live but really can't today based on some of the regulations.
Well, I know when our new city commission came in, one of the I would say primary goals of the new commission was to look at ways to spur and help business, and part of that is to also look at some of our codes.
Yes. And I should mention, our May 29th kickoff will be our homeless steering committee. So
good.
We are kicking that group off. It's a eclectic group of business, banking, services people that are going to meet. I'm really excited to start with this group and talk about what are some of the things that we've learned from the study that was done and some of the next steps we ought to be doing.
With a product, and then we're going to sit down and digest it
Right.
and see where we go from
Right.
there. And that's on the 29th of May.
That starts on the 29th of May. And we even have, we have some bothered citizens in that group that are bothered by homelessness and panhandling and those kinds of things, because we want perspectives, and that's
Well, and our goal is to have an informed and engaged citizenry, so we want to hear from everyone.
yes.
So, Jason, if not memorialize one of the greatest presidents in history, well, thank you for that, Jason. I don't. We are. We're going to keep the bricks. I've heard gazebo because there was originally a gazebo there when the park was built. I've also heard a flower garden. So we don't know where we're going. Looks like we got one more comment coming. Okay. Yeah, and then we're going to bring. I forgot Liz. Can't forget Liz.
You meant the next.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Close this piece and open it up.
And just real quickly, Lisa also commented. We're bookends with Tampa and Orlando in the middle, and it's great that we make plans to.
And what we have to ask ourselves, what is going to be our moniker in terms of uniqueness, and can we really be a leading city nationally in terms of taking care of people well?
So Chelsea wants to know, what are the plans for homeless population lingering in downtown? I can just real quickly before I turn it over to the mayor. I know that we not too long ago we had some aggressive panhandling going on, and we got Lakeland Police Department involved. Hopefully that's sort of gone away. Homeless plan is look at some of these things.
Yes, because sometimes the panhandling we're assuming is homeless, and they're not homeless people necessarily at all. They're just panhandlers. So that's one issue. And the second issue is if we really are working on transitional housing and we're making it available and we're being aggressive with those plans and we're setting up on the steering committee side some strong next steps, there has to be an accountability as well. So you have both the provision of what you can do to help, but people have to respond to that. And if you don't want to respond when we're trying to help, then we can toughen the accountability side up. And I think that's responsible governance.
Sure. Well, I just want to thank you for being with us today, and I want our viewers to know it's a pleasure to work with Mayor Mutz. He's always accessible and brings a breath of fresh air. And you know what? We're going to change the city with this man in office, and we're moving forward.
With all of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And now our digital media coordinator, the lady in charge of websites and social media, the one and only Liz Holiday. Hello, Liz. And mentioned that we have a GoFundMe account set up. Yes. Tell us what we can do and how, if our viewers can go.
All right, so we have just put a link on the lakelandgov.net. If you go to lakelandgov.net/monuments, there's a link there that will, at the very top of that page. Or you can also go to gofundme.com/munpark monument relocation. So any monuments, hold on.
Yeah. I spelled.
And I can make this bigger. But
$1,000 goal. Just opened it up today. Next thing we want to talk about is it's coming to an end to go vote for your favorite sculpture on Lemon Street.
Yes. Florida Outdoor Sculpture Competition, FLOSC, is up and down the Lemon Street Promenade. If first put up, but you need to vote for your favorite one by going there, seeing what your favorite one is, and then going to our Facebook page. We have an album, and you just have to like the one that you like the best, and that'll be your vote. That's all you've got to do. So do that before the end of the day on Friday.
So we had a question, is the GoFundMe anonymous? It can be. So you can either put your email address in there, or you can set up an account and it can be anonymous. Mm-hmm. And please go vote for your favorite sculpture on Lemon Street. You can do that through the city's Facebook page and all of our social.
At the top?
There
can
you
find
go.
all of it there. And also a little reminder, if you don't have any neighbors in your neighborhood, you can just invite people with your neighbors in your neighborhood. So we would like to all sorts of important news and stuff like that is on our next.
As an ambassador on Nextdoor to receive our press releases, so you will be in the know before anyone else.
Yeah. Well, we just want to hear more from you guys, more about what stories you want to hear about in Lakeland. We have a couple new video series. Christina and the community. And she goes around and shows us what other city jobs do. So if you have a request for a job,
Bottom of our website, and then you can easily go visit our Vimeo page, and all of our programming is there. It's an easy way to discover where all of our videos are, including those hands-on series that Christina does. I want to invite you to stay informed, stay engaged. Come to a city commission meeting, watch a city commission meeting, and when we have our Citizens Academy, if you want to participate, it's a great way to get hands-on learning about your community. Thank you for watching today's Access Lakeland. We'll be back with you next month.